Hello everybody, hope you're having a great day. If you had any trouble on similar shapes from yesterday, please make sure that you are writing those questions down in that Google Doc that we have up on Google Classroom. If there's something else you want to discuss further and you want to set up a Google Meet, please email me that request as well. Today what we're going to work on is a little bit more similar shapes, similar figures. And we're going to first talk about how we can tell if figures are similar within a coordinate grid. So we have our problem here. They tell us to draw the figures, and then they're asking which figures are similar and to explain our reasoning. And so we're given our three rectangles. If you want to pause the screen and draw the rectangles yourself, please feel free. I'm probably going to pause the video and draw them so you guys don't have to painfully watch me draw the rectangles. So if you want to pause the screen and do that yourself, please do so, and you'll see the rectangles pop up in just a second. Alright, so I've gone ahead and drawn rectangle A here, and this would be rectangle B. So let's first look and see if these two are similar. Rectangle A, the side lengths are 4 and 2. And the side lengths for rectangle B are 6 and 3. So if we set these up, we say 6 over 3. Well, 6 over 3, the ratio of that, is that equal to the ratio of 4 over 2? Now remember, there's two different ways to do this. You can cross multiply. If we did that, we would get 12 equals 12. Which means that they are similar. The other way we could do it is we could simplify each fraction. 6 over 3 is 2, and 4 over 2 is 2. So since they both simplify to 2 over 1, it means that they're equal, they're proportional. So that means that the two figures would be similar because of that. So rectangle A is similar to rectangular B. And now if we went and drew rectangle C in the same coordinate plane, you'll notice that C is the same exact thing as A. So C and A have the same exact coordinates. So since that's the case, they're exactly the same, which means they're congruent. Since they're congruent, they're also similar. Similar shapes can be congruent, meaning congruent shapes are similar, but not all similar shapes are congruent, obviously, because A and B aren't congruent, but they're similar. So A is also similar to C, and since A is similar to B and A is similar to C, that means that B is going to be similar to C. So they're actually all similar to each other. A and B and C are similar because their ratios are proportional, and then A and C are similar because they're the same exact rectangle. And even if A and C weren't in the same exact coordinates, they would still be similar if they had the same exact measurements. So even if, rectangle C was up here, it would still be similar to A because it would be 4 and 2. So they would still be congruent even though they're not in the same exact place because they have the same exact measurements. So that's how we find out if figures are similar within a coordinate plane. So the next thing we're going to go to is word problem. So in this word problem, we have an artist draws a replica of a painting. The painting includes a red trapezoid. The shorter base of the similar trapezoid in the replica is 3.75 inches. What is the height h of the trapezoid in the replica? So word problems, it's the same thing we're doing yesterday. So if you understood the lesson yesterday, you should be fine today. There's just words involved. Other than that, it's the same exact problem. We're going to set up a ratio. As long as we set up our ratio correctly and we cross multiply correctly, we should be fine. So let's look at how our ratio is going to be set up. To me, if I look at these two trapezoids that they're telling me are similar, it looks like 15 is going to correspond with 3.75 and 12 is going to correspond with h. So I have some choices on how I'm going to set up my, my ratio. I'm going to go with 3.75 on top. And then on the bottom, I can either put h or 15. I think that I'll put h on the bottom. So that means that I put the lengths on the same shape, so 3.75 over h. So that means that I have to put 15 over 12. So if we look at our two ratios, just looking at it, if I had to predict what h was going to be, I know that h is going to be smaller than 3.75 because it's equal to 15 over 12. 15 is on top, and so is 3.75, and h is on the bottom, and so is 12. So that means that 3.75 is going to be bigger than h. So that's just, a little hint if you're trying to predict what your answer is or to see if your answer makes sense when you're all done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. So if I do 15 times h, I get 15h. And then if I do 12 times 3.75, well, 12 times 3 would be 36. 0.75 is 3/4. 3/4 of 12 is 9. So 36 plus 9 is 45. And we'll go ahead and divide both sides by 15, and you would get h equals 3. So 3 inches would be what h is. Alright, so since it's a word problem, I would just write out a little sentence here. And I would write the height, make this a bit smaller. The height of the trapezoid in the replica is 3 inches. Remember, with word problems, you always want to write a sentence for your answer so that the reader understands what h represents. Alright, and that is your word problem. So those are our two problems that we're going to cover today. Just on your big ideas lesson, there's going to be a couple word problems, and there's going to be one problem where you are identifying what shapes are similar within a coordinate grid. So if you have any questions after watching this, please make sure you write them down in the question doc that is attached. If the answer is not sufficient, please request a Google Meet and we can go over the BIM, we can go over anything you want. Alright guys, have a great day. Let me know if you need any help.